broadcast now on Periscope. And I do this from time to time. I'm a Periscope guy. Like, I've had a bunch of shows on this channel. I think I've been doing it for about 7 months. But podcasting is something that I've always loved. I've always loved podcasting. And I started off doing live radio. But podcasting is something I just need to get used to. You know, live radio to me is so much more exciting, and it's so much easier to kind of just go off the cuff than podcasting is. Podcasting, I feel like I need perfection, and I feel like it needs to be so fine-tuned. But in reality, it's the same as live radio. I don't want to edit anything. I don't want to, like, do anything different than I usually do. So we're going to treat this like it's live radio. And tonight what I'm talking about is this 6-pack challenge at Fast Lane. 6-pack challenge. Yes, we do have a YouTube channel. If you didn't know, we do have a YouTube channel, youtube.com/PWPNation. You can check that out, guys. That's just an answer of a question in the Periscope chat. Sorry if that annoys you here, podcast listeners. But 6-pack challenge, we don't see them too often in WWE. I mean, it's something that's kind of rare. And since they started going down this road with the multi-man matches and whatnot, stacking the odds against AJ Styles, throwing John Cena in the match, making AJ Styles overcome some of the most difficult odds in WrestleMania history, I think it's apropos. I think this is smart business. Now, when you start going down this road and you start adding different guys to the match, it becomes, why not just add somebody else? And since SmackDown has kind of been decreasing, people haven't been liking the show. And this tends to happen with wrestling shows. I mean, we had a solid year of hot action from SmackDown that everybody seemed to love. It's taking a little bit of a downturn right now. They tried some things in 2017. Some things didn't work out. Other things did. But at least they know where they're at. And getting to WrestleMania is really the goal. You get there, and then after WrestleMania, you adjust because there's going to be another superstar shakeup to get almost guaranteed at this stage of the game. So when you're looking at a 6-pack challenge, you say, okay, WrestleMania is right around the corner. I've got 6 premier WWE superstars in one match at Fast Lane. How do we get them all to kind of get a trajectory towards WrestleMania? And that's what I want to do tonight. I want to create a couple of different scenarios for you guys to kind of sink your teeth into heading into the big show. Now, let's start with John Cena. I mean, John Cena's got the most buzz around him right now. And that's usually the case around WrestleMania. Aside from last year, his situation was, while it was fun and it was well booked with The Miz, Nikki Bella and Maurice and everything, it wasn't the most exciting for fans like us. We want to see John Cena in a situation where he might lose, you know, where the odds are stacked against him. That's where we want to see Cena. So this past Monday night on Raw, he comes out, you know, talking smack. He had this, excuse me, not talking smack, Raw talk after the pay-per-view, Elimination Chamber. He was very somber. Didn't have a plan, no trajectory to get himself to WrestleMania this year. So what does Cena do? Back against the wall. He comes out on Raw and calls out The Undertaker. The match that we all pretty much thought was coming, that we all expected. We kind of saw it on the horizon for years. It was scheduled to happen, we thought. This year, it had to have been a shoo-in. I mean, Undertaker almost retired last year. They never announced a retirement. I'm convinced that The Undertaker is going to wrestle again. I don't know about you guys, Periscope. I don't know what you're thinking. I don't know if The Undertaker is actually going to get back in the ring at this point, but I think he does. I think he does. I don't know if he will, but I think he does want to. Now, is he going to be cleared? That remains to be seen. Is the Rey Mysterio rumor a smokescreen to kind of put us into a different direction? Not sure. However, I still think John Cena would have never brought up The Undertaker's name if this match wasn't going to happen. Or if they weren't going to use The Undertaker in a storyline at WrestleMania in some way, shape, or form. I don't know why they would bring his name up. To me, this seems like classic Undertaker psychology. You know, he's obviously going to respond. He's going to respond. Guys, I know it's a storyline. I know this isn't like, you know, a groundbreaking thing, but people on the internet are starting to believe these rumors that they're actually going to go along and do John Cena versus Rey Mysterio at WrestleMania. It's not going down, guys. Periscope, that's not going down. Podcast. John Cena versus Rey Mysterio. I would be so beyond shocked if that happens. I would rather put John Cena into the AJ Styles Shinsuke Nakamura match and make that a 3-way. That would be a much better match than John Cena versus Rey Mysterio, where there will be no heat. It's 2 white meat baby faces from a decade ago. You know, it's not an epic collision like The Undertaker and John Cena would be. And even the condition The Undertaker's in, you know, don't get me wrong, I know he's hurting. The guy had hip surgery after WrestleMania last year. The same hip surgery that Mick Foley has had, that Roddy Piper has had, that Hulk Hogan has had, that Scott Hall has had. And the majority of those guys were able to wrestle again. That's the reason they got the hip surgery done. Well, so they can get back in the ring. You know, a little pain. These guys are used to pain, man. Pain isn't something that The Undertaker is not used to dealing with and getting past. He'll be able to get past a little bit of pain in the ring. Well, my concern is whether The Undertaker is going to be able to call it a career if he does wrestle John Cena at WrestleMania this year. Because when you have a match of this kind of magnitude, it tends to lend itself to rekindling the fire. And I think The Undertaker's been down this road a few times. So I'm still of the belief that we're going to see Cena Undertaker at WrestleMania this year, you know. I'm still of the belief that that's going to happen. So let's just say Cena is going to face The Undertaker. That excludes him from winning the 6-pack challenge at Fastlane. Let's move on to the WWE Champion AJ Styles. I think he's going to win this match. Somehow, some way, he's walking out with the WWE title. There's no doubt in my mind. They would have never put the title on him. They would have never had Shinsuke Nakamura win the Royal Rumble if they weren't planning on doing AJ Styles versus Shinsuke Nakamura at WrestleMania in some way, shape, or form. I am surprised Shinsuke Nakamura isn't defending the shot at Fastlane. He's not putting the shot on the line. And this would have been a brilliant booking strategy, guys. Now, bear with me if you still are. Just think about this for a minute. Who is the most over wrestler on SmackDown Live right now? If you're saying Rusev, you are correct. You could have taken Rusev, this guy who's like a monster babyface, and somehow, someway got the fans to demand that he gets a shot at Shinsuke Nakamura at Fastlane for the title shot at WrestleMania. Of course, you know, Shinsuke wins. You have Shinsuke win the match. You don't put Rusev in the match at this point. You know what I mean? You have Shinsuke beat Rusev. But at least you go into WrestleMania where the fans just saw a match where they didn't have to root for Shinsuke Nakamura. This is Psychology 101, guys. Psychology 101. You put Rusev versus Nakamura at Fastlane, put that title shot on the line. Do you think the fans will be chanting for Rusev or Nakamura during that match? What do you think, guys? I think they'd be heavy behind Rusev. So you would get a situation where the fans are now conditioned to think that Shinsuke Nakamura can be booed, can be jeered, that somebody can be more popular than him. This helps WrestleMania. This helps build the feud to WrestleMania. Now, it's not going to go down. It's not happening. I don't think they're going to book this match, Rusev versus Shinsuke at Fastlane, but they should. They really should. Yeah, I think it makes total sense. You get Rusev on the card. You make a lot of fans happy. Anyway, I digress. So this is how you get to Shinsuke versus AJ Styles at WrestleMania, in my world, in my alternate universe. This is why I would do this. Moving on. So AJ wins the match. I don't know who he's going to pin in the match. I don't know how that's going to happen. Who cares at this point? It doesn't matter. They're going to find some crazy way for AJ to win this match. He's probably going to go over to Sami Zayn. He's probably going to go over Sami. He's probably going to go over Kevin Owens. One of those two are going to take the pin in this match, probably. I don't think Ziggler's taking the fall for some reason. I just don't. Anyway, moving on. Speaking of Owens and Zayn, good old Cammy, as some people refer to him as, Kevin Owens, Sami Zayn, I think that they need to be put together as a tag team ASAP. Periscope's asking if I run a radio show. I'm actually recording a podcast. This is Booking the Finish podcast number 2. You can find it on the PWP Nation Network on Spreaker, Apple Podcasts, and Stitcher. So I'm of the belief that Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn need to be put directly into the tag team division after Fastlane. Put them in the tag team division, guys. You just had a fire promo this past week on SmackDown with the Usos and New Day. Okay, the weirdest part of that promo was the fact that the Bludgeon Brothers walked out with the rubber hammers, and the 5 other dudes, New Day and Usos, ran away from them, which is crazy. But, you know, it's 5-on-2. I don't care if you got rubber hammers. You know, my 5 guys are going to kill your 2 guys. I digress. We're terrified of the Bludgeon Brothers. I get it. It makes sense. They were the Wyatt guys. Now they're the Bludgeon Brothers. Now we have to be scared. So Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn are now in the tag team division after Fastlane. Put them right into that feud with the Usos, with the New Day, with the Bludgeon Brothers. Give me a 4-way, 4 corners tag team match. If you want to throw a ladder in the middle, do it. If you want to make a tornado tag, do it. Make that a WrestleMania match. Put that on the main card. Make magic happen. Could you imagine? Could you just think about it? The New Day, Usos, Kevin Owens, Sami Zayn, one of the greatest tag teams of all time, Owens and Zayn, and the Bludgeon Brothers. Give me that trajectory to WrestleMania. Give me an amazing match. Periscope asks, what about Benjables, which is funny, and Breezango? Listen, maybe throw them in the match too at this stage. Who knows? I mean, WrestleMania is the time where you want to get everybody on the card, get everybody that payday. Why not make it a crazy, insane ladder match? Throw all the tag teams in it for all I care. But I think for this scenario that I'm talking about with Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn, excuse me, just fucked up a little bit, no problem. You need to get Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn in the tag team division. Right now I'm talking about the trajectory of the Fast Lane 6-Pack Challenge participants, and I'm recording a podcast, so we're going to go with the flow here. I'm talking to Periscope podcast listeners. All right, so we have our John Cena route. We're getting him to The Undertaker. Undertaker versus Cena is going to carry SmackDown into WrestleMania. If you're going to have so heavy, let me just put a bow on this one. If you're going to have such a heavy promotion on Raw for WrestleMania with Brock Lesnar and Roman, which, believe it or not, is probably 100% of work. I'm sure he's going back to the UFC, but everybody's in on it. You're going to have Ronda Rousey and Stephanie McMahon, Triple H, Kurt Angle. Huge, okay? Those 2 programs alone. The reason you move Cena over to SmackDown is so we could have a big feud heading into WrestleMania to try to counteract that a little bit. You can't have SmackDown, you can't leave SmackDown hanging with just AJ Styles versus Shinsuke Nakamura at WrestleMania. You have to do something big with Cena. So Cena versus Undertaker, give me that. It's going to carry SmackDown into WrestleMania. I'm almost 100% convinced. You throw Mysterio on there, maybe put him against somebody, Ziggler or something, have a solid match there, whatever the case may be. We know I want Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn into the tag team division. AJ Styles are winning the match. Okay, so now we're down to Dolph Ziggler. Listen, they put this Rey Mysterio smoke screen out there. And Dolph Ziggler is kind of in this like tweener mode where he's babyface 1 second, heel the next. I see him as a full babyface now. Some other people are telling me that he's still a heelish type guy. I see him as full babyface. I don't know about you. I see him full-fledged babyface. Hashtag babyface. Book it, brother. Ziggler needs a big match this year at WrestleMania. He just does. I mean, the guy has been in WrestleMania obscurity for the last few years, and they just signed him to a pretty big contract. And it's time to give him something good to do. So maybe you have him come back. Maybe you have Mysterio come back to wrestle Ziggler. Maybe that's what you're doing. If you're really bringing back Mysterio, maybe have him and Ziggler go at it one-on-one. They've had awesome matches in the past. Give us a solid, 5 to 10 minutes of action at WrestleMania. Just a freaking fast-paced flop fest. Mysterio can get his spots and make the crowd go crazy. And Ziggler will make him look like $1 million. Mysterio wins the match, and now he's a SmackDown Live superstar. That's what I would do. I'm booking the finish. That's what I would do. I'm not saying what's going to happen. I'm thinking of plausible scenarios that I would book if I had the pen and paper and had the ability to have an influence on what WWE does in their creative meetings. That's all this is. Baron Corbin's the next guy. Now, Baron Corbin is in a unique situation. After Fastlane, Baron Corbin is likely going to be in no man's land, folks. Complete no man's land. But you have to do something with him immediately. The guy is getting heat, okay? He's talented. They kind of have put a little babyface touch on him a few weeks ago where Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn were attacking him. But that's because we're leading into Fastlane where everybody's going to be fighting each other. Right back to being a diabolical heel. What do you do with Baron Corbin? There's no reason to not throw him into the U.S. title feud somehow. Get him involved in this little angle that's going on with Bobby Roode, Jinder Mahal, and Randy Orton. Get him involved with that somehow. Throw those guys together. Make it a 4-way match or something along those lines. Or have Baron Corbin. Like, what else? I can't even think of anything else for him to do. The way the SmackDown Live roster is set up. Like, what else is the guy going to do? Here's one idea I had. And Periscope, tell me if you like this. My idea was to put Ziggler and Corbin together. Put them as a tag team. They've been at each other's throats for years now. I feel like that's been the one feud for Corbin that he just can't get away from is Dolph Ziggler. Make Corbin and Ziggler a tag team. Put them together. It would be like akin to Shawn Michaels and Diesel, but, not as talented. It would be akin to those two guys together. Put them together as a tag team. See what can happen. Throw them in the Kevin Owens, Sami Zayn, Usos, New Day match. And it'll be freaking awesome. Make Ziggler and Corbin a tag team. That's a brilliant, I think that's a great way to go with it. Make them they could be babyface tag. They could be a babyface or heel tag team. They could be almost the same Sheamus, Cesaro type of angle where they're forced to tag together. They hate it, but they end up having chemistry and they end up liking it and they end up being a great tag team. It doesn't have to last forever. Give us a short run with them as a tag team. Ziggler, Corbin. I'm okay with it. If you guys like the idea, hit me up on Twitter, @JAletto, @PWPNation. There's my projections, my trajectory for the Fast Lane 6. See, there's so many WWE shows. I'm glad they're going back to only one monthly pay-per-view because these pay-per-views just melt together in my brain, man. And especially when there's multi-man matches, like we just saw Elimination Chamber. That was 7 guys. We got Fast Lane. That's 6 guys. So give me, the 6-pack challenge at Fast Lane. Give me AJ Styles to win it. Give me John Cena to go on to face The Undertaker at WrestleMania. I don't care if they put the careers on the line. I wouldn't put careers on the line. Fact, Undertaker's going to respond to Cena. I'm telling you that's going to happen. If that doesn't happen, I'll come here and I'll freaking be the most shocked son of a bitch on the planet. If Undertaker doesn't respond in any way, shape, or form, then that hurts Undertaker's legacy. That's all I got to say about that. So that's Cena's trajectory. So you have AJ winning the match. AJ's going on to wrestle Shinsuke. Cena versus Undertaker. Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn need to be put in the tag team division immediately. Rebuild these guys. Get them away from the world title. Get them away from the world title right now, guys. Seriously, man. They don't need to be involved in the world title. Of course, we have to factor in the Superstar Shakeup, which is probably going down as well. Dolph Ziggler, if it was me with the pen, I would be wanting to have Dolph Ziggler versus Rey Mysterio at WrestleMania. It could open the show. It could be your hot opening match. Ziggler Mysterio. It would crush. It would get that place on fire. Periscope says they need to blow off the feud with Shane. They kind of are already. I think it's getting worn out. Sometimes they don't even do anything, to end these feuds. They just fucking end. So maybe they'll just let it go. Or maybe somehow, some way, at WrestleMania, Bryan and Shane will be representing, maybe tag teams. I don't know. Maybe there'll be a representative type of match where Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn have to team up against 2 superstars that Shane McMahon picks. Maybe they'll do something wild. Like, how about this? How about Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn are Daniel Bryan's guys, and Shane McMahon brings back Batista and Rey Mysterio for a tag team match. Batista and Mysterio versus Kevin Owens, Sami Zayn. Shane brings them back, and here's the kicker, brother. Here's the kicker. It's a double turn. Shane McMahon and Batista and Mysterio all turn heel. You turn Bryan, Kevin Owens, and Sami Zayn the baby faces, and you're off to the races. I'm talking crazy, guys. Don't mind me. So, hey, don't Periscope. Hey, do not bash the Headbangers, okay? The Headbangers had a nice little run there in SmackDown Live last year. I was okay with that. I'm glad they came back for a little nice send-off. I think they wrestled 2 or 3 matches. That was awesome. And last but not least, we got Baron Corbin. I would, listen, Baron Corbin and Ziggler as a tag team. I like that idea. I also like getting him back involved in the U.S. title feud. He kind of was unjustly booted out of that whole conflict. So get him over there. So I'm going to take some questions here in Periscope to end this show. Would that be Rey first ever heel turn? Yeah. I think it would be dope. Do you think Undisputed Era would be good on SmackDown? Absolutely. Undisputed Era is going to be good wherever they end up. Sami and KO versus Amish, that's obviously you're trolling, so I'm not even going to comment on that one. So there's a couple Periscopes you could check out, guys. If you're a podcast listener, check out the Jay Alletto Show on Periscope. I go on Monday nights, Tuesday nights, randomly, like tonight. It's a Friday night, about 11:30 p.m. I'm talking to Periscope. I'm also going to be uploading this video to YouTube as well, so you can catch it there. And you could always, if you're listening on the podcast, thank you so much for listening. This is my name is Jay Alletto, and I am grateful to have your attention. It's just really that simple. You can donate to the show. We do have a way you can give back to what we do and help maintain the website and help maintain that I can continue to produce this content and do it for free. But I am going to ask you for a little bit of money. If you got it, head over to patreon.com/PWP Nation, where we're taking $1 to $5. $1, $2, $5 tier, I believe. So go check it out. Patreon.com/PWP Nation. I'll be putting some exclusive content up there soon. We're going to be doing interviews with wrestlers, all kinds of good stuff coming up in 2018. Also, check out our other shows as well on the PWP Nation Podcast Network. We've got Offended. We've got Two-Faced Wrestling Pod. We've got the Mancast. We've got a lot of great shows over there on the PWP Nation Network, so check us out there. We have a Blog Talk Radio channel, PWP Nation Live on blogtalkradio.com. Check us out there. We haven't really gotten rolling there, but you can give us a follow. We're going to get some content cranking out on that medium as well. That'll also be on iTunes. PWPNation.com, that's my website. That's where we funnel everything through. PWPNation.com, baby. Check us out over there. Also on Twitter at PWP Nation, Instagram PWP Nation. Check us out all across social media. Follow me on Instagram and Snapchat at Jay Alletto, at Twitter at Jay Alletto, all over the place. That's what we're doing here. We are doing personal branding through PWPNation.com. So thank you so much for joining me here at Periscope. I appreciate your attention, guys. Thank you so much for listening to this edition of Booking the Finish. That's how I would book the six-pack challenge for Fastlane 2018, and how I would take those 6 wrestlers after the fact and move them into WrestleMania 34. Guys, my name is Jay Alletto. Once again, thank you for listening. I'm out of here. Talk to you later. Peace. All right, that ends the podcast. All right, guys, thank you for joining me, Periscope. Thank you so much. Pull these out of here for a second. Periscope, thanks, guys, for joining me for that podcast. That's the first. I did this on a whim. I've been wanting the podcast like all day long, and I just haven't been feeling it, so I kind of wanted to just do it. You know, sometimes, and this is just a word of advice, I mean, take it for what it's worth, but sometimes, you know, when you feel adversity, that you want to get something done, it's just not happening, you just got to say, fuck it, and just do it, man. You just got to say, fuck it, and just do it. That's what I just did. Like, I went into this podcast with zero thought of what I was going to talk about. Thanks, man. Zero thought of what I was going to talk about. I went into a blind. I just knew I was going to talk about Fast Lane. So, are you a YouTuber? I do. I'm not doing YouTube shows yet, but I plan on doing it. I want to get the right lighting. I want to get the right camera. I want to set up a kind of a stage behind me, some kind of set. So I want to do it the right way. But yeah, we do have a YouTube page. If you want to go check it out, it's youtube.com/PWP Nation on YouTube. We got a lot of good stuff coming on the show soon on the YouTube channel. Me and my boy Mike are part of the same show. Cool, man. Cool, brother. All right. You want to get the right collaborations. And of course, yeah, no doubt, man. I want to collaborate with everybody. Do you know where I could buy a Magnum Extra? No, I don't. I've never bought a Magnum Extra Small condom in my life, okay? Thank you very much. It's fucking ridiculous. Ay. One thing I don't need is extra small, guys. Just saying. All right, so we spoke about on this podcast a little bit of SmackDown Live trajectories for the Fast Lane match and the six-pack challenge. And at this stage of the game, like, I have to believe that that Undertaker's coming back to at least talk some shit to Cena. Okay. It's gross, man. So you got to just believe that, you know, Undertaker's not going to let this slide. I mean, even if he can't wrestle this year, he's going to do something. He's going to do something. They're not going to... Are they really going to clown Undertaker like that? Like, have Cena call him out and then him do nothing? Like, that to me is unprecedented. Unprecedented. We've never... I mean, think of a time... Guys, help me out here. Think of a time when The Undertaker has been called out and has done nothing about it, has done dick about it, has said literally no words. You can't think of a time because it hasn't happened. Okay, so I fully expect The Undertaker to come back. I want to do a little bit of talk here on Roman Reigns. Listen, guys, Roman Reigns might be in some trouble, and I hate to say it. There might be, and I don't want to even speculate, guys. Don't want to even speculate, but it's always good to be realistic. And at this stage of the game, if these emails exist with his real name on them, with just massive orders of anabolic steroids, Roman Reigns is going to be in some serious trouble. Yeah, that's a very possible scenario. Verge of victory, gong hits, lights go out, something like that. Mind games.